Yes.
All right, let me share my screen. Today's topic is on music and lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Marty, you're on.
Hi, my name is Martin. Just kidding. Anyway, no, it is though. Um, Plucky Lion. Wow, I just gave my real name out. Just kidding. Um, Music and lyrics. That's what we're gonna be talking about today. After that, you guys can talk about whatever you want. But I came up with this mind map. Like, what was it? A day ago? 2 days ago?
There you go.
Okay. And worked on it a little bit. And there is a lot of controversy around it. And so I'm sure that you guys will have feedback on it. Hopefully, you'll have feedback on it and add some stuff to it. So, I'm just going to kick it off with what comes first, music and lyrics. Some people write down the lyrics first, then they put the melody to it. Some people write the melody and then they sing it. This is all choice. I find it easier to write parts to the song, then do the melody to those parts. I will go back and then do the chorus. And when I do the chorus, I go back and say, hey, this needs to be a little bit different, you know? And so I make sure that the chorus stands out from the rest of the song and becomes the main event of the song. It's the key to a great, catchy song. If there's a run-on song that just keeps going and going and going and going, and it's kind of boring, so you just want to switch channels right there. But let's go to rhymes because this one's a big one. I have run into this problem many times with people over making music. Is they're like, oh yeah, dude, you don't have to rhyme, or stop trying to find something that sounds. So having a song that rhymes can be a good thing. Some songs depend on rhymes, like kids' songs. They really depend on rhymes. Sometimes you can substitute words that sound like rhymes, sort of, and sometimes you don't need a rhyme at all. Example, us and gas, those sound alike, but at the same time, they don't rhyme, but they can do really good in a song. Making the song flow is a really good choice, though, if you want to write a hit song. Now, what do I know about writing hit songs? No, I listen to hit songs, and if it flows and it sounds great and it pops out, it stands out, you have your chorus, that's what's going to get stuck in your head. So, and I can't say the same thing for Bohemian Rhapsody, is this the real life or is this just fantasy? That's kind of what stands out to me. But nonstop writing.
Can I give a tip on rhymes before you move
Yeah,
on?
yeah, go for it.
So when I'm writing poetry or trying to write lyrics, and I'm getting stuck on trying to find something that rhymes, I go to a resource. It's stop these floating controls. See if I remember this. Yeah, here it is, Rhyme Zone.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
And what's really cool about it is it does a lot of stuff for you, and you can organize by syllables or letters, include phrases or not. So say we want to rhyme with news, blues, choose, cruise. These are all one syllable rhymes. They have two syllable rhymes, diffuse, three syllables, and so on and so forth. And you can go into all sorts of different homonyms, similar sounds, consonants, same consonants, and get that right fit for you for what you're trying to write with your music. So it's a
Yeah,
pretty good.
go into similar sounds. Okay, so we got news. Okay, noise. Yeah. So I'll be talking about that later. But similar sounds is something that you can sing, and it wouldn't be something you could say out loud. It wouldn't make sense if you just spoke it, like a spoken word. But when you sing it, it changes the aspect of the sound. So it works.
Yep. but I just wanted to share that little tip with everybody. If you're ever writing music, that's a really good resource.
So nonstop writing, if you continue to write and never close the loop to what you're writing, then you'll find it really hard to write a song with the poem that you created or whatever lyrics that you're putting down. And it would be good. Um, Let me think about it like this, okay? So think of me trying to write a song to any book, not just Harry Potter, but just any book in general, and including every single word from the book, right? That would be like a never-ending song. It would feel it's so long. So you would say, okay, I'm going to write a song based off the book, right? So we're going to get into that in a second here. So make sure to close the story. Also make sure that you're creating a story. Now, you don't have to do that. Not every song is a created story. Some are just fun, like you know, just some fun sounds going out there. It's okay to be random in songs as long as it is random all the way through. If you create a song that starts with a story but ends random, then you'll have the audience finding it very difficult to keep up with. Many argue this structure. Many songs don't make sense, but to some, they make perfect sense. And here's the reason. Some people love to put in words that are subliminal, messages that are hidden within the song itself. And those really usually are directed towards certain groups of people. Like if I was to write a song, or if you guys were to write a song to somebody that you care about or whatever, maybe one of your friend's going to know what you're talking about in the song. The audience is just going to keep on guessing, probably forever. So some people love to write the song in a poetic way where the listener would have to really try to get into the heart and mind of the artist. But then we got, does it fit the story? Is what you're trying to achieve
Hey, can
going
I
along with the
jump
story?
in?
Yeah.
Plucky. So this is James Tiley from Cyber FM Radio. And we do a lot of work with PM Dawn, the whole new PM Dawn 2.0 that we're trying to push. And Prince B unfortunately passed away a few years back. Greg has been writing lyric, and it's rap hip hop, right?
Yep.
But so we just got this week, we released his Christmas song from PM Dawn. I think it's Christmas Without You or something like that. I'd have to look at it. But when he ran the song by, when he sent me to master, what really triggered in my mind was a line that said, cold banging through my speakers, Christmas in Hollis, right? He's referencing Run DMC from the 80s, Christmas in Hollis, in his modern song. I think that goes to what you were just saying. I could relate to that, right? I was a Run DMC fan, and I'm a New Yorker, right? But everybody's a Run DMC fan. So he paid tribute to them, talking about, and what the song is about was a day in his life.
No, that's really cool. You have artists that will put something subliminal into it so that the people, that are really big fans of other people or something, something in the past. That's something that you could relate to. And somebody like you would say, hey, I get that. I get that. But somebody like me would go, what was that? And I'd have to really dig into that in order to understand it. And I might not even find it if it was really that well hidden into the song. But paying tribute to music or not to music, just to anything into a song, that's pretty good. Let's go back down a little bit to that. So when we write things into songs, we have to say to ourselves, even if we say, okay, this is a really cool line that we're going to write, but does it not just make sense? Does it flow with the rest of what I'm singing about? And so the guy that wrote what you're talking about, it was talking about a day in his life, right?
Yeah, he took the kids Christmas shopping, the whole nine. So I guess he was describing, what it's like to go out Christmas shopping, and he was also reminiscing of when he was a kid. Now he's shopping for his kids.
So we have a story that's going on. We have a story that's going on, and so it fits the story. When he writes this, I'm not going to call this subliminal message. I'm going to more call it like, what do we call those?
Tribute.
But I find, yeah, a tribute message. You know, something that he kind of slips in there, but makes it fit. He makes it fit. It's not something that's just like randomly put in there. It's not you're getting a story and then there's something random in there. You know, it fits the storyline. It's something that happened in his life. So
Yeah, and I guess
well,
the reference to the Run DMC Christmas song of the 80s makes that particular target audience go, "Oh, I'm right there with you now."
yeah, no, that's really cool. So let's go back up to, does it fit the story? We tend to write poems with our hearts, but without keeping structure. Okay. Now we tend to do that all the time. We'll just jot stuff down. And as we do this, when we think about let's go to write a song, something happens then. We don't have the structure for the song. We do have a poetic aspect of what we just, or maybe it was years ago, what you have down, but you're wanting to do something with this now. You want to make it into a song. Well, I wouldn't suggest ever to use word by word. Like I said with the book, don't use word by word of a poem. Instead, we're going to have to translate it. We're going to have to translate it so that we can have a song based off of a poem that you had written. So you're now in a whole new creative state. And I put an example here. I have this poem that I created this morning: lost, never to be found. What is life if life is lost to me? A creation I was made, a creation then came. Lost, but at least lost together. So I'm like, well, how would I create a song out of that? So this is a perfect example of something that can sound deep. You know, people would have to go, wow, let's really get into what he's trying to say right there. And the problem is it's putting into a song. What am I going to do? I have to translate this poem to tell the story the way it was meant to be told. So I'm going to give another example. Now here comes the translation. So lost, never to be found, translates into I've always felt like I've been lost. I'm always trying to find my way. What is life if life is lost to me? Is the next line. And I wrote, loved great people and now they're gone, though it happens every day. Okay? So those are the two translations that go on there. A creation, I was made, a creation then came. But I want to stop and say there's two words in here, lost and gone. They don't rhyme, but they do work in this song. They work. When you hear it, it works. So when we go to a creation, I was made, a creation then came, I go down to say, let me see where I'm at here. Okay, I go down to say, I never thought that I'd be sitting by the wayside with nobody here with me until you came into my life. So we have two that don't rhyme, side and life, but it works in the song. And then it goes to saying, my daughter, we're lost together, but at least we're not alone. Oh, lost together, but being lost is our home. So it's telling the aspects of the story of okay, so here's my poem. I know what it means, but that doesn't mean the audience does. But I want the audience to know what it means. So I'm going to translate that into a song. And so these are my lyrics. So now I need to put music to it. So I'm going to say something like, I'm going to make a melody now. And this is what I do. This is personal. Some people start off with the melody and then they'll go, okay, let's put some lyrics to that. You know, a lot of rap artists do that. Let's, though, for this sake, start off with this. Okay, I plugged in right here. So I'm not going to make the melody yet. Not with the guitar. I'm going to do it with my head, try to figure it out. So I would say something like I've always felt like I've been lost. I'm always trying to find my way. Love great people, now they're gone. Though it happens every day. And I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to see what I can do with that. So let me try. I've always felt like I've been lost. I'm always trying to find my way. Love great people, now they're gone. Though it happens every day. Okay, so I got that. And then I would go on to the next part. And it goes, I never thought that I'd be. And so this is a little bit different. So I'm going to have to slow it down. I never thought that I'd be sitting by the wayside with nobody here with me until you came into my life. So let me try that. I never thought that I'd be sitting by the wayside. Where are we at? With nobody here with me until you came into my life. And so I have to like go on a downward, because if I'm gonna go into a chorus, I have to go downward to go upward. So I don't want to like, so, and a chorus with that would probably just switch over to this. So, daughter, we are lost together, but at least we're not alone. Oh, lost together, but being lost is our home. And I'm gonna just throw that in there to end it. Being lost is our home. So I did the lyrics first, and then I went and tried to create a melody. And that's how I structure songs together. So I tend to do lyrics. So I said there's a movie out there. It's music and lyrics, and I'm like, well, why isn't it lyrics and music, right? So it's just how other people want to do it. A lot of rap artists, I said, they hit the beat first and then put some lyrics down to it. If you've ever YouTubed a backing track that you've never heard before and try to put lyrics to that, that is really hard to do. So once you have it, this is important. Once you finally put all the music and the lyrics together, it's now time to study the song. John, you know what I'm talking about. It's time to study the song, make all the changes that you think you need to make in it to the final version, and then it's time to record it, send it over to be mixed and mastered. But another thing, we talked about this last week, getting things on beat. So it's not just, you know, put out there and the person that's mixing and mastering goes, hey, what do I do with this? So remember this. This is one thing. Forget the rules of writing music. Write with your soul. Music and lyrics is like creating a painting. We have photo perfection. That's something that somebody could say, hey, let's write a song from A to Z in a really perfect way, you know? Let's not even put in really creative words or anything. Just let's use dictionary words. Or we have abstract music. And let's make people think a little bit about that. Either way, do it your way, be you, and even if you don't unwrap the poems or make the lyrics make sense, you still made a song. I wrote a song when I was younger that I thought was cool about my truck that I didn't have. I loved it, but the problem was that the people couldn't understand it. The song didn't make sense, and it didn't really even make sense to me. As I grew older, I was like, this don't make sense at all. I wrote it for a girl, and that was the most important thing to me, that she liked it. It didn't matter what anyone else thought. So now if you want to make it famous for the world, correct your song. Make it make sense. Make it fun, at least. But if you want to make it famous for one person, then make them smile. That's all that really matters. And I'm going to hand this over to Rob. I super went through that fast. And first off, does anybody have any comments?
I think, like I said, you're on point because I realized what my recent experience with PM Dawn was.
Yeah, I think that, well, the reason I wanted to even bring up this topic this week is because I get a lot of requests every single week. Plucky Lion, can you please help me create a song? And then when I'm like, yeah, I'll do that for you, this is fun. It turns around to them throwing me a poem that they had written or a song that they're working on currently that just doesn't make sense as I'm reading it. I'm like, this don't make sense. Like, can you help me make sense of this? And then as we go through it together, we'll structure it. And I'm like, okay, now it's starting to make sense. And is it okay if we change this to this? Because that's the only way it's going to make sense. But a lot of people will then go, I don't want that touched. I don't want that changed. Rob did that to me on one thing. I'm like, he said, I do not want that changed. I said, then we're not going to change that. And it's really up to the original artist if it's going to be changed or if it's not going to be changed. And so I would call what Rob has done with the song that we're working on right now a little bit of abstract, and I'm trying to make it photo perfection. And it just turns out really, really, really beautiful in the end.
But a part that's not changeable, would that be safe to say you're making the foundation of it?
So the part that is not changeable is
Does that
something
become the
that
core of it?
it's something that's not in my generation. And I'm trying to make it work, right? To where when I sing it, my generation will understand it, and the generations after me will understand it. And I think that we have it at a spot to where Rob's happy with it and I'm happy with it. And we have what I was trying to do with the photo perfection and Rob's abstract with it, because when you look at Rob's poems, they're beautiful. They're very poetic. And I'm like, I want to do something with this. I love this one. I like this one. And so you just have to go back and forth and make sure when you're working with the person that you're not changing their work so much to where you're like, this is now yours. If I wanted to do that, I would go out and get a really cool quote off the internet and then write a song about that quote off the internet. If I wanted to make it all about what I wanted to make it about. But yeah, it comes down to working closely with the person to make sure that you don't fall too far off and try to make it your own work. Make sure that you're really writing the song based off their poem and the original artwork that was put into it.
Motivated to write a song about the 1980s mechanical keyboard.
All right. So we have two quotes of the week that are kind of in the vein of what we're talking about here. First one is, without music, life would be a mistake.
Nice.
And the next one is, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
Fabrizio, you just now talked. You're like, nice.
Oh yes,
He
I
comes here for
like.
the quotes of the week.
No, no, no. I appreciate and I liked everything you just said, and you know that I appreciate Rob Maps and what you normally write so much. So this kind of it's a kind of a handbook, the perfect handbook. Yes, I totally agree with what you have just said. So
Hey, Rob.
it's enlightening, and I've been learning a lot of things. So I didn't want to interrupt you, and so you did a great job.
I think
Ted, I
with
can't wait
Fabrizio.
to hear your song, your final version,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I want to hear that. I've been waiting for that. So and that song and other songs of yours, of course. And
So I think Fabrizio's saying to us, Rob, that we should write a book, and I think that we have enough content to write that book.
oh yes, we got a lot of contents. We got a lot of contents. And
Guys, we have almost 30 weeks of worth of content.
Oh, yes.
30 weeks.
Yes. Yes. And well, Rob has recorded everything.
Barnes and
So
Nobles, here we come.
we have a
Yeah.
huge archive. So there's
That's
a
for
lot
sure.
of things. Yes, poems, lyrics, and scores, recordings, MP3s. So there's a lot of material and a lot of stuff. And so so is your song? Have you completed it, Martin, or are you still working on that? I mean,
No, it's not complete, but it is probably 80% of the way now.
I know you're a great perfectionist, and this is so good. But I can't wait to hear the final version because
I would hope
I
that if Jason heard that, me saying it's 80%, that he'd agree and not go, ha 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 ha. No, it's 40%. No, it's really going far, and I'm trying to get the guitars on sync with each other because I want that stereo sound and I don't want the mono. And so you have to play the rhythm of it twice. And so I did it in layers, okay, which took hours, but I did it in layers so that I could go back and listen to the way that my strumming was on each individual track.
layers you
And
said.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Like Bohemian
so,
Rhapsody, a lot of
yeah.
layers and vocal layers. Yes. Well, it takes a long time. I know. Yes, but 80% is a good percentage. Yes. It's fine. It's fine. So you're almost there. And
Yeah, I have a lot of the back vocals now to it and a lot of the little instruments that I want to be placed into it. And we
and
might
you have
re
fixed and solved all the rhythm issues, haven't you?
yeah.
4-4-2-4. So the
Yeah.
song is balanced, steady.
Oh yeah.
Okay, nice.
It's
Nice.
that damn job, Martin, that's getting in the way of this music.
Yeah.
Yes. It's kind of little kid, it's growing every day. So
So, but the cool part is if you take your time and okay, so if I sit down and I'm thinking everybody's like this, if you sit down and you force yourself to push a song out there. So if I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna go, okay, I'm gonna rehearse this all day long, all night,
mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna record every single take possible. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna fritz out, I'm gonna mess up, and I'm gonna keep messing up. But if I give myself some time, some space in between, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna come back sharp-minded, play it out right, and it's gonna sound on par with exactly what I want. That's what I did with Here I Am. I didn't really want to rush it. I slowed it down a little bit, and when it finally, I mean, I actually had a really good break on it. It wasn't by choice, but I had a really good break on it, and when I came back to it, it flew. It was really, really good, and I had a lot of thinking time on where I wanted things to be.
Well, I trust your judgment, Martin. So yes, it's gonna be a great song. Like Here I Am, When I Was Young, and a lot more. Uh, so you had to create an album, 8 songs at least, Martin. So keep working hard as you have been doing so far. And yes, do we
Has
have
James
a
ever
title in
heard
mind? Go.
the
Sorry.
well, you guys want to hear a little bit? No. Well, we'd have to. I don't know how I would do that. I'm stumbling on my words right now. Would you guys like to hear the in the works progress of When I Was Young? It's kind of at a stalled stage right now, but I showed it to Rob.
I do.
Okay. I'm gonna play
That
that
song
then.
I heard was that one that we all participated in together. Remember that?
We haven't done that one yet.
Say that again. Oh yeah, no,
Remember, I'm OG at this point.
that's going to be on the album for sure. The one that we all created together a long time
Yeah,
ago.
that was the last.
Mm-hmm.
I've been out since August.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Well, I'm glad you're back. Let me find this. Rob asked me about a week ago. Time goes by fast. So let me go through this and see where this is at.
Do you want me to stop the recording?
Yeah.
All right. So everybody say goodbye, like you're going goodbye, but we won't go. See you guys
All right.
later.
I'll see you guys later.
Another great show.